everybody, and welcome back from a long-awaited hiatus of Annie Games. I don't know about you fellas, my inbox has been flooded with people banging on the window. Where's my anime and bodybuilding podcast? Well, we're back, right? We've all been very, very busy, but the boys are alive, they're kicking. Some things are different. My hair's completely different, and I'm not fat anymore. Boys, there's been a lot of changes for ourselves. It is good to be fucking back. Before we even get into the meat and gravy of this, the fact that we have this podcast is ridiculous. The fact that you guys watch it is still surreal to me. And the fact that we got nominated for Bodybuilding Podcast of the Year, and fifth fucking place.
Absolutely crazy.
We're not even.
You know when that initial post got put out saying like podcast of the year, and then people were tagging him in comments. Like I didn't even bother sharing it because I was like, yeah, we're not getting nominated. That's fine. Like there'll be a bunch of other ones. And then I go in the comments and I see several people tagging Annie Games, and I'm like, hang on here, like we could actually get nominated. So massive thank you to anyone who did tag us. Like we do really appreciate it. Like we don't have the biggest podcast, but it's like pretty hardcore our following, which is pretty cool.
We have the shittest podcast. It is the most brain rot podcast, but I think that's what people like.
The show sucks, but it's fucking awful. Like for the amount of times like we'll go to a show and it's just like the three of us kicking about people. Oh, Annie Games. Oh, it's the Annie Games boys. And we're just like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, it is so cool. We've not even been doing this for a year. We almost beat some of the big names as well. Unfortunately, we lost to board shorts and spastics and spandex. I don't know. That other show. Yeah. Well done, guys. Round of applause for you boys. Sick.
Next year we're coming for you.
And when you lose to us next year, boys.
Public apology live on the podcast. That's what we want.
Yeah, we'll invite you to apologise. We'll give you some Annie Games merch coming out next year as well, and we'll want you to wear that for one of your next pods. Speaking of which, we do actually have some big plans next year. We're just spitballing some ideas. I want to host the Annie Games Cookout. Just a nice podcast enjoyer meetup, free of charge. We're going to be fucking slanging some merch. We're going to be fucking flipping some burgers. I'm not really sure what like the diet of an average Annie Games viewer. To be fair, most of them are pretty jacked. Like, there's going to be two.
When we done the rating the physique ones, we had some pretty fucking wedge listeners.
Like genuinely, like probably good and like an IFBB Pro level physique.
There will be pins. There'll be a pinning station. Yeah,
there'll be there'll be a place where you can jab yourself with some Lantis, and then you can have an off plan.
Lantis or hill climb that here.
Yeah, we'll be having some. Well, I'd like to do like a live in person session for that. Listen, we're figuring out the details, but we've got some cool things coming up for next year.
Yeah, all about the Milton Keynes Anime Con Round 2. This time Annie Games subscribers edition.
We're not doing that.
All of us on the karaoke and the after party.
No. We're not doing that. Don't show
night terrors about Spencer. Of night terrors.
We're gonna have to censor his name.
You said his name last time.
Did I?
We did say Spencer's name last time.
To edit it, and he kept it in, and he kept in what you said about.
I got rid of the video or the picture.
You edited shite. You didn't post the photo, but you kept in. Cam called him something that else begins with S before his name.
Don't go and rewatch that if you haven't seen the games viewers. It doesn't matter.
That's one of the worst pods we put out. It was so funny. That in-person one.
Is that? The in-person.
That was great.
It was.
Yeah. I do want to do more in-person ones as well.
Yeah, next time.
Yeah, if we catch each other at shows, like we'll come back. We'll come back to my humble abode. And get them filmed, I think.
When we don't have a flight to catch, but 45 minutes before we wrap up.
What were we doing? What were we dicking around for so long? Why would that? Because your flight was not early. It was at like 5.
No, yeah, it was actually. No,
Yeah.
because we trained that day, and then we came back and we done work, went and trained, came back, and then we filmed the pod. But we didn't leave a whole lot of time. And then before you knew it, we're like, oh fuck, the flight's not too long. We need to film this pod. And then
We spoke about every single athlete in great detail.
yeah,
I remember right at the end, I think we were going over one of the pro shows. I think I was actually speaking about Josh. The camera just cut off.
cut out.
It just cut off right at the end, and it was like an abrupt end to the podcast with me like mid-sentence.
Yeah,
I was like, this is great quality here.
The camera just died, ran out of battery, and then I picked
That
up
was
the
a
phone, I
sign.
was like,
Yeah.
right, we got about like 4 minutes before you need to be at the boarding station.
Yeah.
Should we get a bit of a move? I can't believe you made that flight, man. Like,
Mate, honest to fuck. Every time I've been in Luton, the security's been fucking packed. So God save us.
I wonder why.
Speaking of airport security,
Speaking of, Kez has been rather busy.
I have indeed.
I
I have indeed. I'm gonna share my screen to give the visual watchers a more accurate representation of what I'm saying. Let me know if you can see this.
Nope.
Great stuff.
Can't be.
1 second. Screen share. Let me know if you can see it now.
So bad.
Yes, in the UK, boys.
No.
Can you see it now?
Okay. No. Oh,
No.
oh yeah.
There we
Oh,
go.
no, we got it.
Okay, right then. So, for those wondering what I've been doing, so I've actually been to America for a few things. However, I'm going to go play-by-play analysis of what actually happened. So, went to the airport, and as you can imagine, as a brown man, I was rather apprehensive about what would be happening at the airport in America. I don't know, have you boys seen Harold and Kumar?
No.
Yes.
Right, so there's a scene in the Guantanamo Bay one when Kumar gets profiled at the airport, and I was like, this is going to happen to me, isn't it? So I was about to go through passport control, and I hear a voice on the intercom saying, can Qais Butt come to customer service, please? I'm like, oh god, that's me. I'm like, that's me. I'm like, just here we go, this is going to happen now. So I get called to customer service, and they say, okay, we're going to need you to come into this room for questioning. So they take me into a room, sit me down, and just start asking me a bunch of questions about, well, what my name is, where I'm from, what I do for a living. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a men's physique posing coach, and just ask how long have you done it? And
I'm sure fucking TSA are going to know.
yeah.
oh yeah, but you say
You done
that,
the pod with Josh Matta, didn't you?
you say that. The guy literally had my Instagram up, and he said, "Are you Kiesthetics posing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." Because he must have like looked me up online and found my Instagram, and he was just asking questions about that, about what it is, what it involves, and look like. I think when he had a better idea, I was a bit more relieved. I think it was going a bit calm. But then he was just asking questions about my family as well. And you boys have seen Come Fly With Me, haven't you? That scene where the border control guy's asking Taj, like, where he's from. He's like, where you from? He's like, Sheffield. Where's your dad from? Bradford. Where's their dad from? Pakistan. Pakistan. Now we're getting somewhere.
If there
And
was
that's
a cricket
lit-
match between England and
Yeah.
Pakistan.
And honestly, no word of a lie, that's literally pretty much what happened. So, literally asked me
Right.
where I was from, asked me where my mum was from. Both of us were born in the UK, and then asked us where my grandparents are from, and obviously they're from Pakistan.
Yeah.
And then they were just asking me, or whether I go back to Pakistan and what I do when I'm there, and basically
Fucking hell.
implying I go to like training camps in Pakistan, in
That is
the mountains of Pakistan, basically. Anyway, I get through, and that's all fine. And then my mum is nowhere to be seen. So, by the way, I went with my mum. And I'm waiting for a good 20 minutes. I get a call from my mum, and then I just hear like some crazy American guy on the phone saying, "Get off the phone!" And that's literally what it said.
Oh my
So I was like, what is going on here? Then I reunite with my mum, and she said like she's being like verbally harassed by one of the border guys. Basically, they asked for her boarding pass, but I had it on my phone, so I she couldn't access it. She was trying to ring me to get access to it, and they were just being funny with her. They were just being like really rude and like quite verbally abusive to her, and just saying, well, if you don't like it here, go back home and all that
Seriously,
stuff. And yeah, that's what they were saying. And
fucking hell, man.
and then my mum was like, and she probably shouldn't have said this. She's like, listen, like back in the UK, people are actually quite polite, not like rude like you are now. And he got quite offended by that, and he just went off on one to my mum.
Good
and
on
then,
her, though.
What?
Good on her.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And but I don't think my mum realized like the seriousness of these border guys in America, because like she had a word with my dad later on, and he was like, "Yeah, you shouldn't have done that." But and then when my mum actually has like a hearing aid, and what the guy asked her like, "Oh, can you not hear what I'm saying? Are you hard of hearing or something?" Like, and my mum literally like pulled out a hearing aid, saying, "Yeah, I actually am." And then he just continued to be like a prick, to be honest. So that immediately left like a really bad taste in my mouth. As you can see here, we've got like a little AI generated image. That's not actually real for the viewers.
Real. That's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. Yeah. So left a pretty bad taste in my mouth immediately about the whole country. Not gonna lie. But yeah, then we got into things, got into doing some touristy stuff. So
I don't know if you're showing photos, Qais, but it's still just like your wallpaper with...
Oh, can you not see the photos?
I can see 8 photos.
Yeah. I think your screen's frozen, mate, because your mouse hasn't moved.
Oh, okay, great. So we're gonna pretend that you can see what I'm sharing.
That's the UK, guys.
By the way, top 5 podcasts in the UK.
Top 5 podcasts of the year. Okay. Right, so just bits and bobs about what we did. Went to Venice Beach, which was cool. Interesting story about Venice Beach, right? So, Cam, you've been there before, haven't you?
Twice.
Yeah. So what happens when you go to Venice Beach is you'll get stopped by a bunch of Jamaican gentlemen, right? And what they do is they hand you an album. They'll hand you like a mixtape or an album, right? You'll accept it kindly, and then they'll be like, yeah, where's my money? Where's my donation?
That happens like in like New York. Like
Yeah. And literally every like 20 meters you walk, there's another like wave of Jamaican guys there. It's like a level. Like you defeat one wave of them, and then you're on to the next ones. So that was pretty interesting. Other than that, Venice Beach was pretty decent, and then we went to Santa Monica as well. We went to the Hollywood.
Hang on, did you train at Muscle Beach?
No, didn't. I trained at Venice Gold's Venice.
Yeah.
And that was cool. So we met. Oh, I need to share this actually. 1 second. Where is it?
The photo goes up there. Here we go.
I can't wait to look at Kez's wallpaper again.
Annie Gaines viewers, are you excited for a black screen once again?
Can you see that now?
Yeah. Audio listeners, I'm
not coming up for me.
Nah, fuck all's come up on my screen, mate.
All right.
Audio listeners, we are looking at a black screen. I just want to keep them updated if anybody has no way to work. And it's not.
You waited 5 weeks for that.
How about now?
No.
Oh, that is annoying. Anyway, for people, there's a picture of Mike O'Hearn there, right? There's a picture of Mike O'Hearn doing an incline press. So literally, as soon as I walk into Gold, well, the first person I see is Arnold Schwarzenegger's son. Immediately when I go in, Joseph Benya. That was pretty cool.
Which one is he? The Jack one or the fat?
Yeah. So he's like fully American because he had like an American accent. Okay. And then we see Michael O'Hearn doing like an incline press. I got a sneaky photo of him. I think loads of people were just asking him for photos there, but he is massive in person. Like, he is jacked.
Was he competing at WNBF Naturals as well?
Yeah, bro. He was in the novice division. He actually has competed in INBA before, like the Natural Olympia.
Did he win?
I think so. Yeah, I think he did.
I fucking hope he would.
He's like a massive sponsor for the INBA. Is Mike O'Hearn.
So that's why he didn't do WNBF, because politics.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rival federation.
Politics.
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Quite a lot of the UK lot were there as well. Over in America. So we had AJ, my coach. We had Adam Powell. We'll obviously go on to him a little bit later. And some of the natural physique boys as well. So they had Josh and Finn, and they had quite a few of their clients as well. So that was pretty cool, bumping into all of them. Then we were in Hollywood. That was alright. It was just like a bunch of stars. We won't go on to what celebrities we took photos with, but one of them was Michael Jackson, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not going to go into.
I mean, it's not that cool.
He's innocent. Free my boy.
You just like his music.
Dead, he's innocent.
Free my boy. Yeah, he's innocent.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Is
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Whatever.
Anyway. But yeah, we won't go any further into what stars were there. For fear of being cancelled.
Strange place, man.
Strange place. To be fair, like as a whole, it was cool. Like, but it's not like the top of the list of places I would go for a holiday. To be honest, like if I was to compare to Tokyo, for example, it's not even a patch on that.
Did you go past the Scientology place?
Yeah, we went past it. We did go past it, actually.
Did you see
we
people like going out in the streets trying to get people?
No, we didn't go in. We didn't go in.
I'm not saying go in, but did you see the person like out the front? Oh.
No, we didn't. But we did go past it. That was cool. Griffith Observatory, which was cool, which is like a little science museum, and then you get a view of the Hollywood sign as well. But the only annoying thing about being there is like it's massive, and you have to drive to get anywhere, so it's a bit of a pain to get to places. In LA, and there's traffic's crazy as well, so you're driving over an hour to get from one place to another, and it just wastes a lot of time. I'd say it's like a little bit underwhelming, a lot of it as well. It's like I can kind of see this as kind of thing anywhere, whereas when I was in Tokyo it was like, oh my god, like this is like a whole nother world I'm in.
Did you say that because there's almost like a bit of a lack of culture?
Yes, I would say so. I would say so. It's not like anything crazily different from what I've already seen, like in the UK, for example. If anything, like I think as a tourist, I'd probably prefer to go to London, like in terms of like the main sites in LA.
I actually hear that, to be fair.
Eh?
I actually hear that, to be fair. There's just a little bit more history behind things.
Yeah, definitely. So it was alright. And then obviously, probably my favourite part of the whole holiday was just meeting Josh. Josh Matter. Josh is like a really, really lovely guy. Obviously, we've had him on the podcast before, so we know what he's like, but he's exactly the same in person. Like, he's so cool. Very down to earth, very humble, like, even though he's like probably top of the game in terms of men's physique posing. It was wicked to meet him and his girlfriend as well. Well, actually his wife as well.
Sick, man.
So we had the seminar. That was really cool. So a bunch of WNBF athletes and NPC IFBB athletes as well. That was really, really cool. And then just got a bunch of content with him as well, and just in terms of like we trained with him, filmed some posing content as well. He was like a celebrity, like in every gym we went to. Like people were just going up to him and saying, like, "You're that posing guy." One guy came up to me, which was crazy. Like I thought that was crazy. Like who knew who I was in America? And I was
Any
like,
Games podcast.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. But so that was really cool. And then we had the training with Qais Butt as well. He's a really nice guy as well, and that was a bit like awestruck, because for me as a posing coach, like I see him as like the best in the world in my opinion, and to like just see him in action, train with him, speak with him about how he does stuff, it was wicked. So that was an amazing experience.
How did you find that they trained?
Because
the US and UK training styles are a bit different.
Yeah. So generally speaking, it's a bit more pumpy, is the America style. So I would say a little bit less intense, to put it nicely, let's just say. Chris trains more like a UK guy, I would say. Qais Butt, like he's quite hard trainer. He's not like super strong per se, but he's very like intent on the muscle. Like, you could see when he's pressing, like he's using his chest for everything. So he's like really good trainer, I would say. Generally speaking, across the US, the training's like, like not good though. Like no one's focused on what they're doing when they're training. They're all like just having conversations with each other in the middle of a set.
No.
They're like literally, or they start grunting when the or they start growling or shouting when it's not even hard. Like, let's say there's like 6 reps in reserve, and they'll just start shouting, and then they'll stop.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, like you're not even close to failing that.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it reflects on the physiques as well. Like, when you got these in the WNBF show, a lot of the guys who were winning were from like UK and Spain, and you just saw like the levels and difference in density of the physiques. Obviously, you're gonna get the genetic freaks in America, like they do have them, where they can like literally some of the guys are like they don't even train for bodybuilding; they're like track runners or sprinters or American football players, and they just look jacked, and they don't even train like bodybuilders, and that's like when you know like they're the genetic elite. But generally speaking, the training there is not what it is here, I would say.
That's a shame, man, because I was like looking at like Dave Fisher's like Powerhouse and like all these other places. I'm like, man, like that looks like it'd be a cool place to train, but
it was. I just say like it's not the same as some of the gyms here, I'd say. Yeah. But the vibe, the people are nice. Oh, I've got a story about Dave Fisher actually. So me and Josh were posing, and Dave comes up to us. Dave Fisher himself comes up to us. He's like, "You prepping for a show? You do your show?" So I'm like, "No, probably next year." It's probably because he's seen like these American guys like show up like fat on stage, and he's so used to people being fat. And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "You compete?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do men's physique." He's like, "Oh, I used to do bodybuilding, real bodybuilding." I'm like, all right, Dave, fair enough. And then he just shows me all of his photos of like when he used to compete. What a guy. But yeah, to be fair, the people there were really nice at Dave Fisher's as well. Like they were just like, yeah, as long as you like post stuff on Instagram, like that you were at the gym, you can get like cheaper day pass and everything. So that was pretty nice.
Is that the gym you went to then?
I would say it's up there. I actually really like Gold's, just for the like the vibes and the feel of it. It was so busy though. Like Gold's, it was absolutely rammed. But as an experience, it's like you need to go there. If you go to LA, you need to go to Gold's Venice, absolutely, because it's just like you're seeing people that you see on social media all the time there, and like that little backdrop, you know, the crackling like turquoise backdrop with where people pose and everything. That was really cool to get photos there as well, because it's like iconic spot.
Yeah, you got a photo with Finn there.
Yeah. Oh mate, Finn proper did me dirty on that. So he took several. He took several shots of me, and he only sent me the ones where he looked like mobbed me completely. Because we took like a bunch of men's physique shots as well, and like we did like front lat spread, we did front double bicep, and interestingly, Finn, he doesn't send me them. So he picks and chooses what ones he like post. And I, immediately when I saw Finn was taking them on his phone, I knew like, oh, this is not going to be good. He's going to choose the best ones, and it's like going to make me look really bad. So yeah, next time they're going on my phone. Next time I'll pause with him. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool, and yeah, that leads us on to the show itself. So WNBF Worlds, as a whole, the standard was really, really good, especially in men's physique, and classic physique was good, I would say. I've seen probably better in like NPC shows and some other UK shows as well. So starting with bodybuilding, I'm trying to think who won that. It was that Eddie guy, American guy called Eddie. Very, very dense, like complete bodybuilder, so it was hard to argue with that. There was a guy from the UK, from Ireland, was it
Aidan Doyle?
Yeah, mate, he was fantastic. He was like lovely shape, but he was just a bit smaller than Eddie. So yeah, Eddie rightly won. Then in classic, it was, what's his name? David Rufat, the Spanish guy who won. He was peeled. He wasn't like the most classic, I thought. I thought there were guys who had like nicer shape with him, but he was like big and peeled.
Did you find the judging was pretty consistent with what they were looking for?
No. I'd say in open and classic, maybe yeah, but in men's physique, specifically the amateurs, it was a bit random. I didn't agree with a lot of the judging in the amateurs, to be honest. But with classic, so shout out to Petru Petru got fifth. Really lovely guy as well, so he got fifth. And also Gonzalo, who is Adam Powell's client, he's also a really nice guy. He got third, so that was pretty cool to see them. And then that takes us on to the main event, men's physique. So, with this, it was... I'm just going to talk through the pro classes, because that was the main event, I suppose. So short, it was Heitor who won. Everyone like
no surprise,
yeah, I mean everyone was like Heitor's probably going to win the whole thing beforehand. He was the guy who was expected to win the whole thing. He's very complete front to back. He's kind of a poster boy for the WNBF as well. He's like very well spoken. He's a good ambassador, so everyone likes him. So no, he rightly won. Then on the medium 1 class, there was a guy called Adao. So he's from Angola, actually, but I think he represents Brazil. He's a lovely guy as well, so he won that. He's very dense. He's very muscular for men's physique. But I think he was the rightful winner as well in that class. So I don't think there was any controversy with them. Then it was the next one. So this was like a big class where Jovan, our good friend, was competing. So when they initially came out, I thought Jovan was going to win because he was he's very freaky, like with his physique, and it's kind of like in your face. And it's like, but as you go through the quarter turns and you see them going through the rounds, you see like Jovan's kind of not complete. I think his arms are a bit too big for the rest of his physique. And in the back pose, like, he doesn't have the same like completeness to his back. I still feel like his arms overpower his back. And this guy, Eric, that's his like English name. He's from Taiwan, actually. He was fantastic, like really complete, really wide, thick lats, and he just like everything was there. Nothing was really missing, even though it didn't have like maybe the wow factor that Jovan had. I thought it was a correct decision to give him the win. And then in the tall class, that was probably like the best standard as a whole. So they had 2 Spanish guys in the top 2, David and Ander. And Ander was one, like, I thought he'd win the whole thing, to be honest, before they started. So Ander's the guy with the glasses. And Ander, like, I don't know, he brought like an army with him, because when he walked on stage, like, he was like full on aura farming. Like, he was like walking slowly on stage, pec bouncing, like just nodding and like waving to the audience, and everyone was going crazy in the audience around the corner. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool when he walked on. And it was between him and David Moran, from Spain. So both of them are from Spain. That was really close because they're both tall, they're both imposing, they're both shredded, they both have good shape. So it was hard to decide. I think David maybe just was a little bit more complete, but it was very close. So David won that, and then David ended up winning the overall as well. I thought that was right. I thought he was, because when they're next to each other, he took up the most space because he was the tallest and the widest, and he was complete as well. So it's hard to deny that like imposing tall structure when they are complete, when they are all next to each other. I honestly think he deserved it, so it was fair. I had a few iffy stuff with judging in other classes. I thought in the amateur men's physique class, one of the guys, I think he was from France, should have won. Other than, I think there was a guy from Dubai or something that won. Other than that, like, the judging was relatively fair. There was nothing like massively off. But in terms of controversies, so a couple of things. First thing being pros, right? So what happened was, people won the pro cards the day before on the amateur show. They were told that you needed to register for the pro show at this like event afterwards. I don't know, like a meet the judges event or whatever. However, they were told way beforehand. So naturally, as an athlete, you're not thinking about, oh, what am I going to do if I win my pro card? You're thinking, I need to win my pro card. I need to win the class. Yeah. So a lot of them forgot about this. They didn't do it, and then they asked later, okay, what do I need to do to register for the pro show?
They weren't reminded.
They didn't get reminded.
Yeah.
So they didn't get reminded.
From getting the pro card, walking off stage, there was no email sent out. There was no one who got spoken to about anything.
Nope.
That's ridiculous.
I know. It's absolutely crazy. And then, because I heard about this from Ella, and Ella was like, so asked them, how do I do the pro show? And she's like, no, you can't. It's too late. And she tried to have like a word with Steph and everything, but nah, there's nothing they could do to get them in, which was, I think, absolutely crazy. Like, you've literally travelled all across the world to do this show. One of the guys was from Australia, won his pro card, and like, bro, you can't compete in the pro show just because of an admin error. Like, it's crazy.
I don't understand how much more work it would have been to just fuck.
It wouldn't. Literally, write their name on the piece of paper, and that's it.
I
That's
think
literally it.
there is more that goes into it. I was speaking to someone at the pit stop event, Martin, who's part of the WNBF anyway, and he was telling me that there is more to it. Like, if you're on the morning of, like, obviously the DJ's got all the music set up in a certain thing, and they've got the running order. I get it, fair enough, but on the day of, it's a bit more work for them. But there should have been someone the second they got off the stage.
It wasn't, but the thing is, it wasn't the day of they asked this. It was the day before.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The day, I get it. If whenever the athlete comes off the stage, they should have been then told, right, okay, you need to do this now if you want to do the show. That's where there was the lack of communication. I can understand that they fucked up. WNBF fucked up, not the athletes. But I can understand why on the day of, if they didn't go to the thing that they were supposedly meant to go to, which that's where the loss of communication was, that it would be harder for them to put them in on the pro show.
But it still wouldn't have been, from the sound of it, that much work.
It still could have been done. It would have been a massive ball ache to them, I think, is what it is. But they should have made the effort to put them in.
100%.
The fact there was no communication is the
that's
worst thing. Like,
really
there should be for the world, but there should be some sort of committee or a team. As soon as an athlete's won their card, once they come off stage, right, okay, we're going to do this. I don't know if they do like more urine tests or whatnot at Worlds after you win your card or whatnot, but whenever they're doing that, register the athlete for the pro show the next day whilst they're testing. Do something like that. It makes no sense not to.
No, definitely, I agree. It's I think it's insane. It's insane. Like a show like that with that prestige, that sort of thing happens. It's really poor, really poor.
Like,
so that is a bit annoying. And then the other main controversy, I suppose, was the drug test failure from Adam Powell. So Adam, obviously, he's quite a well-known athlete in the UK. Won his PNBA pro card, and obviously a really good athlete. And he actually failed his polygraph for clenbuterol. Obviously, when I heard about this on his story, I was like, nah, there's no way Adam took clen. Because, one, like, clen is probably most effective when you're doing cardio, because it obviously, like, it's a fat burner and you do it to, like, elevate your heart rate and everything like that. And Adam doesn't do any cardio in his prep, so it wouldn't make any sense for Adam to take clen. But the way the polygraph works is it does it according to your heart rate. So I think Adam is quite a panicky person, so when he failed, they obviously gave him the chance to redo it. But basically every time he got asked again, he kept failing it. Like, he obviously naturally as a human being, when you know you've failed something and you get asked the same thing again, you're going to be a little bit nervous and you're going to keep failing it. And they said, like, there's literally nothing we can do at this point. Like, you failed, so you can't compete. And, like, I'm just imagining, like, if that happened to me, like, that is the worst thing that could possibly happen. You travel.
He's lucky he had Gonzalo there.
Yeah, that was good. But even then, like, you put in all this work, you travel across the world to compete, and then you can't, and then dirt gets thrown on your name. It is dirt on your name. Like, people are gonna have a question mark. Like, obviously, people in the know won't, but there's always going to be the question mark now. Oh, is this guy natural or is he not?
I think, in all honesty, there should have been more to that. There should have been drug testing prior, urine testing prior to the event, because obviously we know that urine testing, the results are not instant, right? Like, they usually take about like a week, 2 weeks to come back for a clean result. So I believe all UK athletes that would have registered for the show 2 weeks prior should have been urine tested. I then believe there should have been another follow-up polygraph, which, by the way, has no legal validity, in terms of, is that a conclusive evidence? No, it's not, right? If he had then failed again, make him do another urine test, wait 2 weeks for that result, to come back. If he did pop for Clen, cool. Then we know Adam Powell threw in Clen 2 weeks, but it's not fair not give him the opportunity to compete and then to throw dirt on his name. If this is like supposed to be like the sort of like the equivalent of the natural Olympia for natural athletes to go and do, I don't think that's an unreasonable ask, because that's his career, like that's his bread and butter. Let alone, the fact that he's fucking prepped and now has missed an entire opportunity for it. It's bollocks, man. Like it is.
Yeah.
Like there's no way he's not gutted about that,
Yeah, and to further like demonstrate how like fickle that test is, I haven't made this public ever, right? But I failed a polygraph last year, right? So you boys know, last year when I was competing at the WNBF UE, this is the first polygraph I've ever done. So what they do is, right, they ask me a bunch of questions. They ask me to firstly tell the truth and then lie about it. So they have like a baseline of what true and a lie is. And they gave me like a really complicated maths question that I had to think about for a while. I'm like, is this right or is it not? So immediately I'm like, this is weird. And then they start asking me a bunch of questions about, have you taken this in the past? Have you taken Clen? Have you taken SARMs? Have you taken steroids? Blah, blah, blah. Obviously I answer no to everything. And then at the end of it, they hook you up to this like blood pressure thing as well. Like it's really tight on your forearm. And they have something monitoring your heart rate. And then at the end, the guy tells me, you've actually failed for clenbuterol. I'm like, what? Like, I was just confused more than anything. Like, different people would have different reactions. I'm like, in my heart and head, I'm like, I know I've never taken Clen, so I'm like, there's obviously been some kind of mistake here. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And then I have to do the whole thing again. So it was a really, really long process, doing the whole test again from the beginning. And luckily, I kept calm enough to, like, pass it the second time. But this just shows, individual to individual, if I panicked and I freaked out, I probably would have failed. I wouldn't have a pro card. I'd have failed that test, not being able to do the show, and not have a pro card. And it's like, it's an interesting one, because it's like, that something so serious, like to debate someone's natural status, is determined by like their reactions, which can be influenced by so many things other than whether they're natural or not. If someone's a psychopath and they're not natural, they could easily pass that test. Like they could easily like cheat a polygraph and lie about it.
Yeah, I know so many people that are assisted that could go in and probably pass the polygraph. In fact, I'll probably say it's like a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah.
Like,
so yeah, like it's absolutely possible for people to cheat these tests. Like, it's such a tricky one, because you want to have faith in people. You want to believe like everyone's natural. Like, I don't think about it too much, because like, what's the point? Like, I'm not questioning whether everyone's natural or not. But theoretically, if someone wanted to cheat them, you could.
Do WNBF pros ever just get randomly drug tested throughout?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. Which is good. I think that's a good thing that they do, like, randomly urine test people off season as well.
Have you been tested yet?
Not yet. I'm obviously not good enough.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, we know.
That guy's obviously natural. Like, no need to test him.
Don't need to go to Bradford for that.
Yeah, so that was and then the final thing, I haven't made this public yet. One of my clients, you will never heard this in your life, right? So one of my clients, he was supposed to do the men's physique tall pro class. He's pumping up backstage, gets into a conversation with the tanner, and he's in the line. They all go on stage. He doesn't see, because he's in the conversation with the tanner. Spots that they've gone on stage and like, okay, can I go on? They say no, you can't go on.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes. I'm like, when he sent me the voice note, because I was like, where is he? Because I was like, obviously waiting for him to go on stage. I'm like, why isn't he on stage? And then he sent me a voice note later on saying that happened. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I've never heard that in my life, anything like that happen. No. That's really poor. One, for this tanner to like distract someone like that, but two, surely let him on. Like, it's crazy.
shuffle him on stage, like
Yeah.
especially if like letting people on at the pro stage was difficult. Fucking hell, just let him jump in. You know, like
yeah. I think that's absolutely insane. That's really poor when I heard that. I was considering commenting that, you know, it was like a post like digging out WNBF for not letting pros on, and I was considering commenting that as well to further put them in it. But I was waiting for the podcast to like talk about it. But it's just crazy. Imagine that. Imagine like prepping all that time and putting on all that effort, and then just like not being like at that last minute not being able to go on stage.
The wrong place at the wrong time.
That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, a few lessons to be learned from the WNBF for sure. I'll probably be banned from all future shows from now on, but
well, the lesson
hopefully Bob, Tina, if you're watching the Annie Gaines podcast, I love you really, but just improve for future years.
And if you don't, we'll just take gear. Everybody will do steroids and then do the Olympia. Yeah,
that's it. Do the Olympia.
There was a leak coming from the ceiling from the Olympia as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, which I just thought was quite funny. It's like it is literally the most prestigious show, and somebody's overran their bath like a floor above. Crazy, man. Crazy work.
Fun.
There's always going to be things you can improve upon at every level. So
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's it pretty much in terms of... Oh, no. Final thing. Okay, so myself and Josh, we actually went to the San Diego Anime Con, right? So I was apprehensive going to this first because of the previous experience we had with an Anime Con.
They're not comparable.
No, they weren't.
San Diego and Milton Keynes, you are not.
Luckily we weren't.
The Leonardo Hotel.
Oh man, that was...
Don't dox them. Don't dox.
But so we actually went. So I went as Tanjiro again, just because I had my cosplay, and Josh went as Gyome from Demon Slayer. You know, the Stone Hashira.
Blind one.
Yeah. So that was cool. And then so we went to the. So firstly, because Josh was hungry, so his thing is he goes. I think he has like 5 in and outs a week. And Josh, well, I don't want to dig him out, but he was on a diet as well for that time, and I think he went to In and Out like 3 times during that our time together. So literally, we rock up to In and Out dressed as like Demon Slayer characters, like remember Cam, how my like little ankle bracelet kept falling off?
Yeah.
Like there was a video of us walking into In and Out with my ankle bracelet like hanging on the floor.
That's amazing.
I think Josh has got that, but yeah, that was pretty funny. And then we went to the con. It was actually really good. It was probably like, in terms of size, 3 or 4 times bigger than the Milton Keynes ones was.
They're not comparable.
It's not a fucking challenge, right?
Yeah. And it was packed as well. Like we went towards the end, and it was still packed. Like all the stalls had loads of people there. The stalls were really cool. In terms of what they were selling, like loads of cool merch and clothes and everything like that. There was an I need to show you lot it later on. There was an interesting like talk from, I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was like just an enthusiast of manga or anime or like a voice actor or something. But she was just talking about different terms in terms of like, do you know the term stanning?
What?
Stanning, like shipping characters, and it was just talking about like shipping anime characters and like the terminology behind it, and it was a full like lecture on that, and it was like I was just stood there, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I need to send you like that video, because it was like we were just stood there, and like me and Josh were just trying not to laugh in the middle of that talk, but that was the only really cringe moment, I would say.
No, it is crazy how like you can almost like go down a niche rabbit hole, and then you can almost like kind of realize how detached some people are from reality.
Man.
When I was at the London Comic Con, they were genuinely having a debate about whether doing blackface for cosplay is acceptable or not. Like, and I was like, how far from reality have we become where this is? Because people are like, I suppose I hear where you're coming from. Yeah, and I was like, no, it's not on. Right, you can't do that. Don't do that. And they were like, here we've decided that we're just not too comfortable with it. I'm like, fucking too right.
We're sick of seeing Biscuit Oliva everywhere at the Comic-Con.
Just stop doing.
Oh god. So okay, I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? No, I'm joking.
As soon as you said that, I was like,
That's it. Any games
No.
cancelled.
no, I was like, we will not be.
All of a
getting
sudden,
nominated
we've
for
come
podcast.
fourth in Podcast of the Year.
Climbing the rankings.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Jeez Louise.
Jeez.
Anyways, yeah, that's sort of America wrapped up. So
Yeah,
now
that's
just
cool,
back
man.
into things. So I suppose we'll go on to Mr. Campbell now.
Yeah, I've had a very uneventful time compared to Mr. Qais. 5 weeks ago, I think the diet maybe had just finished. We're about 6 weeks into the reversal, and things are moving swimmingly. We are having a lot more food. We're feeling good, and shows have been pretty much figured out now for what I'm going to do. They're in place. I'll let you boys know specifically what ones, because I know that obviously I'll let the boys in on the timeline. But in terms of the main one, obviously PCA Korea got announced as of today, and that will be my main show. I'm possibly going to be doing a back-to-back peak in Korea as well, which will be good fun. But aside from that, things have just been casual. I did get my visa rejected from Japan, which was fucking brilliant.
What do you want?
Yeah, but hold on a second. I've got my visa application right here. Always got it on hand. For some reason, I saw it was still in my bag. We've got the visa application here, and I get fisted. So I had to go into Edinburgh for that. There's only 2 consulates in the UK. There's one in Edinburgh and there's one in London. So went over to Edinburgh and I thought, you know what? I'll make a day of it. I'll go to the markets afterwards. I'll train at Summit Fitness. I'll be all jolly knowing that I've got my visa, because this is the visa that I've been on before doing the exact same work. So I was like, I'm getting the visa. Cool. And she basically just said, sorry, we're not going to accept your visa just now because this is online work. We don't let that happen anymore. And I was just like, okay, well, what can I do then? And she says, oh, well, there's this digital nomad visa that you can get. And I said, I know that, but for that one, you have to be earning a certain amount of money a year. And I was like, I'm not at that threshold yet. And she just goes,
Fuck
and that,
hell, man.
I was fucking glitching out. I was like,
Yeah.
sorry, what? And so I just said, what? Am I just not allowed in the country at all then, ever? And she goes, well, you can't. You just can't work at all. So I'm like, well, I can't exactly not work, can I? And she goes, if you've got any questions, you can phone the consulate. And I'm standing in front of you. Can I not talk to you?
Yeah.
Like, I've travelled, like, it took me 2 hours to get there. I'm like, can I not just fucking speak to you? So I got packed out, and there was a bench outside the front, and I was just sat there like rocking. I had my rice cakes, and I was thinking of training. I was like, this is the worst piece of shit news I could have. I did not expect this. I was looking forward for the day out. So I just started like eating my rice cakes, quite sad, and I was like, I need to get a meal in anyway. So I'm just sat with crumbs all rolling down me, and then I had a kind of like a thought to myself. I was like, hold on, I do know that there's a student visa. Could I do online work? And bear in mind, I'm sat right outside the embassy. So I go up, I ring the doorbell. Hi, who is it? Oh, it's Noah Campbell. I just came in about a visa. I was wondering if I can speak literally for 2 minutes and just ask this one question, and then I'll be out your hair. That's it. No, you have to phone us. So I was like, come on,
I'll phone you from outside the fucking building.
Yeah.
So I picked up my fucking phone and started phoning them, and got through to the exact same woman. And I'm like, this could have been resolved when I was stood in front of you 10 minutes ago, before I started having my caramel rice cake crumbs all down my chest. So I'm on the phone with her, and I'm like, listen, about a visa, online work, I know it's not permitted with a working holiday, but what about the student visa? Could I still technically work online as a student? Because you're allowed 28 hours of work whilst you're in Japan as a student. But I was like, we'll just see. We'll see. She goes, I don't know. You have to phone these numbers and email these places. So I was like, okay, great, cool. So she sends me the emails. I have since emailed both of those places, and they've both emailed back saying, we don't deal with this. Message this person or the consulate in your country. So I'm basically getting sent round in circles. But I did a bit of digging, and it turns out people have hired Japanese lawyers to look into the case, and you can study and work online. It's just a bit of a hassle. So I'm in the process of applying for school possibly. I found a school that opens up near next to Jacob. You know Jacob, who you trained with, Qais?
Yes.
So there's the gym, Hero Gym.
Hero, yeah.
That is a 10-minute walk from my language school. So
Hero's actually pretty decent because it's a bit more liberal in terms of like there's more Westerners there, and I think they're fine with tattoos and stuff.
So that's the thing. I had messaged them saying like, what gyms is there that you know that allow tattoos and that are decent with it? Because I used to train at Kaneken, who allowed tattoos as well, but I wanted to stay maybe a bit more central to Tokyo because the language schools are better, and I'll get more of a lifestyle in there anyway. And he was like, oh, there's this one here. And I was like, oh, that's right next to my school. And it turns out Jacob would live like 5 minutes away from me as well.
Jacob's a really lovely guy as well. You'll get on well with him. Yeah.
He's been spot on. So it looks like if I do go, I'll be going to school in Ikebukuro. Found a school, found everything like that, and I just need to apply in January. But again, we just need to see where things go. Everything's still quite up in the air, whether I just go as a tourist for X amount of time, then possibly go back to Korea, and then, I don't know, there's lots of things, but it's a confusing one. Had I just got that fucking visa, it would have been better. And possibly, I'm considering reapplying for the exact same visa and just seeing if a different person looks at it, because I look back, because she said that the terminology to the visa changed, which is why online work no longer is allowed. I went through everything, and there's nothing saying that online work isn't allowed. There's nothing that says that the criteria has changed. So I'm sat here like scratching my head thinking, well, where's that disclosed? Because surely if it's a criteria for a visa, it should be disclosed that online work's not allowed, but it's not. So I don't know. I've got multiple things that I'm like, what the fuck do I do? But
could you potentially go on a TEFL course and then teach English? If
I am not teaching English. I'm not fucking teaching. I would not want to do that.
Why? You get paid good. Kids.
Yeah, but I've got a job though.
Yeah, you just do both.
But for me to be in Japan, it's like what I want to do. If I'm in Japan, learning the language is cool. Like I'd get a qualification coming out of it. I don't want to teach. Like I've got no interest in teaching.
It's an option, is all I'm saying.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
but if an option's for me to work construction, I'm not gonna. If the only option is for me to work construction, doing X amount of hours a week, I'd still just not go, because it's not some. I wouldn't enjoy my time there because it's not something that I want to do. I won't choose the only door. If it's not there, it's not there. Do you know what I mean? And I'll just wait until I either hit that threshold or they stop being arseholes about the visa. I'll just hold off and I'll be patient. But I wouldn't do something just for the sake of it. I had spoken before about studying would be cool. So again, a 6-month course lines up well with October through to March, and then come back for the UK bodybuilding scene in 2027, where I'll have clients competing anyway. So a 6-month language course actually works pretty well.
Literally an exam arc.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be getting my IQ up, but who the fuck knows? Knows? But yeah, apart from that, has anything else really gone on for myself? No, I don't think so. I started taking L-Carn. There we go. But aside from that, that's about it. Cam?
Taking L-Carn.
Started pinning, that's it.
Yeah. Well, things have been going quite well for me. There's quite a lot of things that I've been quite occupied with that I'm not actually allowed to speak about. For multiple.
If you speak, you're in big trouble.
I know, and that goes for multiple different things as well.
Yeah.
But things are very exciting. A lot of things are getting pipelined for 2026, including shows. So the next year is going to be a crazy year, guys, because potentially you're going to have 3 Annie Games hosts prepping all at the same time. So
those podcasts are going to be awful.
Oh no, they're already so much fun now. Wait until one of us has no energy, or all 3 of us do. But yeah, man, like some things are pipelined in for next year. Do you know what? I'm not a fucking fanny. I'm just going to speak about it on the podcast because, fun fact, guys, no one actually gives a shit about what shows you do. So I'm looking to probably do my first show around the beginning of October next year. That'll be PCA London. I want to do that, and I want to win the overall on that because PCA London's being held really not too far from me. Last year it was in St Albans, which is where I've moved to. We made it out of Luton and we made it to St Albans, so completely changed my tax bracket, which is pretty cool. So it was held in the Abbey Theatre, which is like it's like a 20-minute walk from my house, but now it's being held in Watford because PCA are hosting multiple shows this year and running out of budget. So we couldn't afford the Abbey. So we're in Watford, but I want to win that because I train in Watford. So that'd be quite cool. Then I'll probably do like British finals or something. I do have London MCM Comic Con, which I will be peaked for as well, by the way.
The main event of the year.
It falls in between all my shows. It's going to be probably held on the 23rd to the 25th of October. So
that needs to be an Annie Gaines thing.
Mate,
Annie Gaines event.
Oh, mate, I'm going to be cosplaying as Aaron Yeager just before he starts the rumbling. Spoilers. So that'll be, yeah. No, if you wanted to watch Attack on Titan, you would have finished it.
Don't give a fuck.
No.
Crazy.
Average
One Piece fan.
Yeah, average One Piece fan. Yeah, that'll be fun. And then we got some latter shows for the next half of next year. Got my Bloods back, and they're the best they've ever been. Yeah, man. But I got them back, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Right, let's get to work.
Are you out the diet now then?
Yeah. I've got abs again, which is cool. Ked saw my abs. They're shrouded in body hair, but mate, it's there. I feel like we've made the necessary improvements to be in a position where my goals are realistic for next year. Not guaranteed, obviously not, because you don't know what's going to happen. But I don't think it's unrealistic to say I could be at the caliber for where I want to be, which is cool. Which means the fucking off season, the season of bent over rows and 3-hour training sessions has paid off, which is very cool. And now, basically, next year is going to be probably. I can say for myself, is it safe to say that next year is probably the most important year of our lives?
Yeah.
I think we'll say that every year.
No, but I think
so far.
Yeah.
So far, but the thing is, I've said that every year for the last few years. Like for me, this year has been a huge one. Last year was a huge one as well, and I don't know. Like I just take each year as it comes, really.
I think you always set goals for the following year, but I look at my goals from this year relative to the goals that I have next year, and the list is like double.
Yeah, I think with everything you have going on and going into next year, I think it is a big leap for you, for sure, which is exciting.
It's nerve-wracking, but it is, because
it's good.
It's a position that I've always wanted to be in, and I'm in it, and now you're just a bit like, fuck. Yeah. Right, okay then, let's go. But it should be exciting. We'll probably end up also, like Noah Campbell, being in Asia at some point. Potentially. I do want to look at some NPC show schedules. And yeah, we're going to throw my Willie in the mix and see how we measure up. So, yeah, I genuinely, I know that's very short and sweet for myself, but I actually don't think I'm allowed to speak on it. I'll be speaking a lot from next year, but
yeah,
I can't really actually. There's some things I need to tell you once we're off air as well, which is like, mate, if I told you the shit now, like, you probably wouldn't believe it, but yeah. We'll speak about it off air. I've watched several anime movies since the JJK movie we all went to go see. That was a pile of hot steaming dog shit. Fuck you for making me pay for that ticket as well. Literally ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, don't bother. You'll watch what you needed to watch on YouTube. in probably now. You could probably look up what you missed.
I reckon the new stuff they'll probably put as the first few episodes of the new season, won't they?
So that
because it's new canon. It is like important information in the second half of the movie. My issue was if it was like if the movie was that to start off with and then more, it'd have been great.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like, bro, it's like a 45-minute recap.
Bro, like, see when the movie ended, there was an audible gasp in the cinema.
Yeah.
And everybody just sort of like looked around at each other. And then the big lights came on. I was like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. I just sat through, again, a 45-minute recap. And everything else probably was in and out of 30 minutes. No,
sorry, at least yours didn't switch over to fucking Wicked.
Yeah, I remember. Me and Noah went to go see the film at the same time on release day, and then Noah just sends me an Instagram picture of like Wicked on the screen. He's like, "What the fuck is happening?" I was like, "Mate, this is." I couldn't imagine how disappointed you must have been because that movie payoff as well. Like,
it was like. Maybe 15 minutes in, we're still like going through the Shibuya rerun. We've got 15 minutes in, and like the cinema, to be fair, the seats were really good. They had like the kick your feet up. It was nice, but like I brought meal prep, I brought everything, so I wasn't indulging in anything, and everyone around me was in cosplay. Everyone around me was in cosplay. No, I went myself. I was like, maybe if I had the boys with me, I'd have dressed up or something. I would have went maybe as Todo or some shit, but like. I was by myself in Glasgow.
Do you know when we next do a bet on a bodybuilding show? I think the forfeit should be doing something in public in cosplay.
Mate, not Glasgow.
Wherever you are.
I'll be punctured.
That'll be a great forfeit. And you have to film it as well.
I think it would be better rather than in public, just going to a show. Just in full cosplay.
Oh, yeah. No, that'll be even better.
Cosplay. I think that's fair. It's one of us.
If I'm going to my client shows dressed as fucking Zenitsu...
Mate, don't lose. Imagine if we draw, we'll both have to be Zenitsu.
But imagine if he won. If he won and you had the Zenitsu outfit, that'd be good.
Oh, my own show?
No, if your client won.
We're getting. Mate, imagine that picture after. Mate, you'd get so many applications through. Like, mate, he's coached by Zenitsu. I'm signing up for him. Yeah. Fucking, what a result. No, that genuine. I don't think that's a horrible. I've dyed my hair twice. Right, one more.
But dying. No,
mate, I'm gonna start going bald at this rate because I'm rinsing my hair through product. Right. Okay. I'm not doing it again. Either somebody's wrapping their car or somebody's turning up to a show in cosplay.
I don't know about that, Chief. I need to make a meal. You're going to come with me whilst I go to the
right.
kitchen.
Next. Okay. So, from a few days ago, I put a question box up.
What is Noah doing?
I'm going to the kitchen. Listen.
Right.
MBS
I put a question box up and we got a few questions.
Sorry, Annie Gaines viewers. I've now got holes all through my walls. I forgot, I should say, I started renovating the kitchen and it's just... Oh,
Rice Krispies. Lovely.
They are so good. That's what I've got next.
Right.
When you said you're making a bowl of cereal. Shut up. Oh, I need to prep a meal.
No, because I need to go to the shops and get sourdough and chicken and all that, and I've ran out of berries. So
you're just sacking it off to have cereal?
No, I'm going after we stop filming.
Oh, right. Okay.
I need to eat a meal.
I thought you were macro swapping.
No.
Okay.
I need to get my chicken and that.
Okay. Right. Sorry, Kez, questions. Let's go.
Question. Right, Sonny asks, what's the Annie Gaines anime of the year?
That is a good question.
Do we want to do like an end of year awards?
Yeah, end of the year.
Yeah, I reckon we do like an end of year awards and we include the Annie Gaines subscribers in that as well, like I don't know, best bodybuilder or make up some awards for specifically for Annie Gaines.
Yeah. We'll do you know what, Sonny? Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll do an end of year wrap up because realistically that will be the next time we film one of these. Fuck it now.
We'll see. Right. And then he asks, this is a good one. If the Annie Gaines boys compete against each other, who wins?
Me.
When though?
What?
Like,
Now?
if it's based on our last appearances, I win.
No, you don't. Your last appearance was dog shit. You were...
Oh, sorry. Okay,
Okay, to be
if
fair.
it was based on our last season, I win.
No, alright, so Qais, if we're doing that when you're moving the
Oh,
goalposts,
no,
if
it's
we're basing it off of being 40 years when I'm much bigger and leaner, then I beat
Yeah.
you. Like,
Based on our last season, I win.
are you doing your best look from last year?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
It-
I win.
if we're saying next year, I'll win.
Yeah.
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 Well, actually, no, I can't even.
I actually would love to compete against you next year in an NPC show.
Oh, mate, you keep bottling it. Like, yeah, I'm not the. Anytime, any place, mate. Just fucking.
Alright, let's go.
Pull
Want the
up.
smoke?
Just pull up. I don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't be upset with me after. That's all
To be fair, we wouldn't be in different. We'd be in different classes, wouldn't we, for NPC?
No. Well, no. How tall are you? What, like 5?
5'11". I'd be in like you'd be in the tall class. I'd be in like the second tallest.
5? I don't know actually. Okay.
Yeah, you'd be in like
GPT.
G or whatever it is. I'd be in I think F.
I'll chat GPT it now because
Yeah.
I don't think that. I thought you, me, and Noah would all be in the same class.
No.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't be in the tallest class.
You're 5'11".
Yeah.
Noah, how tall are you? That means you're 6 foot, Noah.
Yeah.
But that's not true because I'm 6 foot.
Maybe you're taller than it. I think Qais is 5'10 and I'm 5'11.
I'm
I think that is
I'm
true.
180.5 centimeters.
Right, 180.5 centimeters.
That's 5'10 and a half.
It's 5'11", mate.
180.5. Is that with your hair though?
It's pressing down.
Not pressing down that hard.
No, it's my height.
Right, 180.5 centimeters in feet is. Come on, ChatGPT. That's not a complicated question. It's approximately 5 feet 11. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm 183.5 centimeters in feet. So what's that?
6 foot, so 6 foot and a half.
I think so.
Yeah, like 6 and a quarter.
6 foot dead.
Yeah, but approximately.
Okay, and then I'm just going to put would those be in the same height class in NPC? Sorry, Alligator viewers. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I want to find this out. This is what we're doing. No one's having cereal. I'm on ChatGPT.
Yeah. So okay. So class, I've got it. Class E is between 5'11" and 6 foot. Class F is over 6 foot. So we'd be in different classes. So you'd be in class F. I'd be in class E.
But I'm not over 6 foot though.
You are.
I'm not. I'm
You are.
approximately 6 foot.
183.5 is over 6 foot.
It says it's 6 foot here.
No, but it's over 183 is 6 foot. It's not to the decimal point.
That's
You're
funny.
over 6.
This is why I'd win. Because you see what Kez is doing here? He's doing everything to try and dodge me. If we get to registration,
I'll beat you in the overall then.
make it tighter. Please,
I'd beat you in the
don't put
overall.
me against him.
So yeah, 183 centimeters is class F. So if you're above 183, then you're class F.
Alright, but fucking hell. What's my weight cap at pro level? It's where it's like 200.
I don't think you'd be close to it.
No, I'm not. It's like 225 pound shredded. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What's
Right. Next question. Actually, let's. What if we did classic physique?
Probably Noah.
No.
I'm just saying it to rage bait Kez.
Yeah, no, I know you are.
Waiting for us to go,
I know you
"Oh,
are."
You would win.
You only asked that so we'd fucking suck you off and say, you'd win, Qais.
Yeah, I want to
You'd
win.
win.
I need a win on this.
Who's
Right.
winning junior bodybuilding? Next year, who's the only junior left?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Right. Ian Talbot Balf asks, what do you think of the new season of One Punch Man so far?
Oh fuck. me.
Amazing.
Dog shite.
So well produced. The quality
Full
of
frame,
it is so
man.
smooth.
I genuinely, words cannot express my. Do you know who I spoke to about this? Mr. Tom Haynes, evolution coaching himself.
You watches One Punch Man?
He's watched up most of it, and he had a right gripe, and he was like, nothing, like, animation aside, what has happened? Nothing's happened. Like, legitimately, like, they're skipping out parts that are in the manga. Like, this arc is a long one, but they're skipping out arc, and it's somehow slower, and I legitimately think things are one frame, and they can't be bothered to animate it. Like, if you take your scroller and you go through an entire episode, nothing happens. Like, I sat there and I've tried to watch it. It's corny as well. The animation is poor. It's boring as fuck. And if you would have told me 5 years ago that the latest season of My Hero Academia would be 10 times better.
Apparently that final season's been really good.
Is fucking phenomenal, apparently. And it just makes me think, like, fuck, man, because when One Punch Man episode 1 came out, like, season 1, that was peak. Like, for the time, especially, that was peak. Like, Saitama versus, what's his name? Boros. Probably one of the best fights in anime. You know. So, I don't know. It's just a shame to see the fall from grace. Apparently, I've heard rumours that they're going to redo the season, but I don't believe it.
Redo the season?
Apparently, I've heard rumours, but I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen like AI animations that are like 10 times better than what has actually been. You know what they're doing is they're taking pictures from the manga and they're just colorizing them.
I saw that there was like one of the things, the hair was like cut off at the top of the bun, and then they only had the back bit. There was no connection
because they literally pinched at a frame from the manga where it would have been, and then they cut and paste it. That explains Gaara sliding down the hill as well, mate. Genuinely. Crazy work, man. Yeah, I'm very upset. Genuinely, as somebody who loves One Punch Man, heartbroken. Genuinely heartbroken. But it's fine, we've had other good anime come out this year, which you'll get to find out about in a later episode. So yeah, that's my anyway.
Alright. Connor Flanagan asked, this is a great one. Top 3 anime arcs of all time.
That's fucking hard one, and that's a loaded one as well. Should we try and make it as quick fire as possible?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say number 1, Chimera and Arc, Hunter x Hunter. Kez, you want to go next?
Number 1. Pain Arc, Naruto.
Fantastic. That's a good answer. That's a really good answer. Noah?
I'm probably going to go Marineford, One Piece.
Yeah, that's fair.
Shock.
That's fair.
I think, man.
Right, Cam, 2.
Fucking hell. Gee, I've really put myself in the spot.
I've had to pull up my anime list. I'm like, surely to fuck, I can't be having like some random episode of Anya Forger as one of my best arcs.
But to be fair, the greatest arcs of all time.
That's a big question.
I think, can we do favourites as opposed to objectively the best?
Yeah, you can do your favourite.
Because, like, I would say the last season of Attack on Titan, where everything ties in together, I'd say that for me is, like, just insane. Like, when you understand everything retrospectively, fucking hell, it hits. And I like the farming arc from Vinland Saga.
Okay.
I think
so that's cool.
You're probably like
so, I was also going to say Attack on Titan. I actually was going to say Return to Shiganshina, though.
Okay.
So,
okay, why?
I don't know. I think like that sequence of episodes, in terms of the action in combination with the writing, with the dialogue, it was just like mind blowing at the time. When I watched it, how hard that hit. I think it was like season 3, episode like 14 to like 18 or 19. Like that run of episodes was like non-stop. but it was like so many like iconic moments of being derived from those episodes. It's just like, yeah.
Did you grow with the anime? Like, did you watch like say like season 1 when it first came out, and then?
No. So I watched, I binged watched the first 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched season 4 as it was coming out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you
So I
grew
just
with
binge watched them. What's that?
If you grew with it, I could only imagine like how fucking
waiting every week for that. Yeah.
Yeah, what a payoff.
Because every episode's like a cliffhanger as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I actually was gonna say Farmland Saga as well, and I was gonna say Hunter,
Chimera.
the Chimera arc as well as you. I'm gonna say something else though.
Oh, do you want to take one in between?
Yeah.
Not particularly, no.
No.
He's gonna say another One Piece one.
To be fair, I think genuinely, if I'm not allowed to pick from the same anime, I'm kind of fucked because One Piece is what I've put the most hours into. I really liked what's it called, Arlong Park. Arlong Park was really good for One Piece. That's when I'd really like, I want to watch more of this. But oh fuck,
Shibuya, JJK.
no. Nah.
Really? Like,
Yeah, it was good, but nah, it's not for me. You know what was good? Oh fuck, I just forget what part it was. It was Demon Slayer. It's not Infinity Castle. Entertainment District. I quite like that.
Really?
Yeah. Entertainment District.
Really? It's a fucking good arc.
I thought Mugen Train was better.
I think Entertainment District's more fun. It's more Noah's type. Yeah, it's a little more going. Plus, you get that fight scene at the end, which anime viewers will know. Favorite fight scene in all of anime. Visually stunning.
You know what? I keep. So I know. Can I say one that's in the manga?
Yeah.
What?
I would say it's the Neo Egoist League from Blue Lock.
Okay.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
the Neo Egoist League is fucking incredible.
Yeah. Do you know what? We rag a lot on the Blue Lock anime in the show. First of all, Blue Lock anime is 10 times better than One Punch Man season 3. I'll say that immediately off the back. Yeah, but the Blue Lock manga does get very, very good. To be fair.
What have you read it?
I've read quite a lot of it. Yeah.
Are you in the Neo Egoist League?
I've been to the point where what's the kid with white hair called?
Nagi.
Nagi. That's it. Nagi has just been booted off.
Fuck, right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're really close to the Under-20 World Cup.
Yeah. Nagi's been booted off. And mate, like that's a lesson for any games viewers. Just because you're good, doesn't mean you can't afford not to put in the work because you'll get outworked.
Exactly.
You fucking put the work in. Do you know what? That is what I like about Blue Lock, because it is a bit, because it's a sports anime. It low-key, like, there's lessons to be taken from that, especially if you're really competitive.
Yeah. Alright, I've got my final one now.
What's that?
That hasn't been mentioned. So it's the L Saga from Death Note.
Oh.
Wait, what part is that though?
All of it.
Just everything.
Just episode
The
1
L.
to 25.
Yeah.
So Death Note.
Do you know
Pretty
what?
much.
I stopped watching.
I
after
think
episode 25.
that series of episodes consistently was brilliant. Like,
Upon the second watch of Death Note and mulling it over, I changed my mind completely. I think Death Note is fantastic start to finish. Like
I think
it now.
the later bit does get ripped on too much,
Yeah.
but I do think it takes a dip in quality after L dies.
It doesn't really.
I do think it does.
If you sort of understand. Okay, all right. Here's where I'll back it. Right. L, we both know. L knew that Light was Kira from almost immediately. Right. He's a fucking genius, but he could not prove definitively how or why he was doing it. As soon as he understood, spoilers by the way, as soon as he understood,
Yeah, but
I know, it's a bit late. As soon as he knew that there was Shinigami involved and that it was things beyond his comprehension, Elle sort of gives up a little bit. He's a bit.
It's harder to
yeah.
prove the existence of like a devil.
He sees that it's real, and he comes to terms with that, and he's like, oh, it was something just beyond my outworldly comprehension this entire time, and he's a bit dumbfounded by it. And then he knows that basically his time is coming. He knows that basically, like, okay, cool, Light Yagami will kill me, because I will use the Death Note. So he gets Rem, because he knows he's infatuated with Misa to kill him. So then Elle dies. Near and what's her other home?
Mellow.
See, like with them, right? They are just as smart as Elle,
I didn't like that though.
mate. But like they don't.
It's not believable.
They don't play like. It is believable because they both come from Whammy's house, which is essentially like the. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I was about to say, but it's basically like the place where like.
Isn't it like an orphanage?
Yeah. But for particular kids, right? Either way, these kids go there. Very gifted. A bit peculiar, but very gifted. And see, with both of them two, they know that when they work together, they could supersede Elle, right? That was basically their intention. And they end up kind of pseudo-indirectly doing that to stomp out Kira as a whole. But they don't play about Light Yagami's game, right? The thing is with Elle, he had an agenda. Elle had an ego and he wanted to win in his own perfect way, the same way that Light did. These two don't give a fuck. These two literally just want to stamp him out. And you start to see that Light Yagami is not as clever as he's made out to be throughout the show. He starts becoming a bit unstuck. He starts becoming a bit panicky. You notice as well, when he gets older, he's a bit rustier than what he was when he was younger, because he makes dumber mistakes. That's why the anime is brilliant, because you actually see him getting unstuck, and you start seeing the consequences of his own actions catching up with him. And I wouldn't change a thing about it. All of Death Note to me is fantastic. I would actually put it up there. I'd say top 3 anime of all time for me.
Really?
Yeah, man, mate. It's upon the second watch, understanding that changes the game.
See, that's not a bad shout at all, because I think I'm just gonna go based on how I felt when watching an anime for the first time.
Yeah.
Not many gave me that, like, oh my god, like this is crazy writing, to that level.
Yeah.
So that's like, I'd say for me, like definitely top 5, top 6, I would say for me. But I do remember thinking, like, when Elle died, and afterwards I'm like, this is like a light version of what I've just seen. That's what I thought at the time. I thought right at the end was great, the last couple of episodes, when the whole reveal of I am Kira and all that stuff, and how Nia and Mello caught him out right at the end. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But I thought the stuff before then, it was just like everything else before, but not quite as gripping for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I quite like the cat and mouse of having one person versus one person, like that dynamic of Light versus Elle. It just felt more personal that way, that they were like together. And then when it's like just some entities away from them, it kind of takes away that intimate feeling of it.
It does to an extent, but I think once you understand that it's like it was only cat and mouse because of Elle's ego. Because Elle's made out to be like this fucking this amazing dude, but like, see, like the task force, like he kept on the task force, and he didn't need to do that, right? Like they kind of remain around as just a sort of a byproduct of Elle sort of stroking his own ego. He is incredibly clever, and you realise that it was only cat and mouse because he allowed it to be that way. And it kind of breaks down the walls of reality, where they were both playing a game, when in reality, like, you see, there's no fucking games to be played. And yeah, like, he gets caught out. He's not this fucking genius that everybody makes him out to be. I think Nier sums it up perfectly at the end. He's like, you think you're the god of this new world, you think you're this, but in the end, you're just a glorified serial killer. and it's like it's left on such a cold tone that I'm like, do you know what? Fair play. Cause and if you got like upset or mad, like I did the first time, you almost kind of like fall for Light's trap, you know, because you begin thinking like him. You see everything from his lens. But what I would say, right? There's a Death Note movie I think called Relights. I think it's basically all the events that take place from Ryuk's perspective. Watch that through, and bear in mind that theory. And see if you come out the other side changing your mind on it. Because I think you would. But or at least I think you would appreciate the anime more, is what I'm saying. Give it a fucking go. Either way, we've rambled about fucking Death Note for a little while. What's the next question?
That is the last question. I've got another final one from myself, though. Did you boys finish Physical Asia?
No.
Yes.
You didn't?
No, actually, I got to episode 10 or 9. I know who won, but I got told it was a bit of a robbery, so I didn't watch it after
It wasn't. I watched it, and it wasn't a robbery.
Just go ahead and spoil it for me, because I ain't seen it.
Korea won. Yeah.
I was rooting for Team Korea the whole time.
Yeah, Korea won. I'm telling you now, it wasn't a robbery. Like, the quote-unquote evidence that they provided was just like, it didn't add up. Like, they're basically just saying that they finished one of the challenges too quickly compared to like Mongolia and everyone else, and it just didn't seem realistic
for them to. Loved Mongolia.
Mongolia finished second.
Did they? Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good.
They were like the underdogs.
Yeah. They didn't.
I don't get how people thought they were underdogs, though, mate.
They were because they weren't winning the challenges. They were like
just from how they came, mate. Fucking. Just the look of them all.
Yeah.
I was like they're going to be mental.
Like, I'm telling you, like, Australia, like, dropped the ball big time on one of their challenges. Where, the rope one. If they would have set the right people on that, and not put every one of the best guys on the ropes and put some of them on the other one, they would have won the whole thing, like, easily. Because based on the other challenges, it was way more suited to Australia, like every other challenge. And they would have won, like, quite comfortably. But they just massively dropped the ball on that.
I think the only reason I say Mongolia are the underdogs is just based on population per capita of everything else. You look at the funding that, say, Korea has, compare that to, the funding that Australia has. Now compare that to Mongolia. Mongolia, and like it's like, you've got these people who have come up through traditional Mongolian sports as well. They're not fucking baseball players, like the main dude's like a Mongolian wrestler. That is inherent. It's enriching their own culture, which is small, but they're so proud of it. That's why they're the fucking underdogs, and you kind of find yourself rooting for them. I knew that was.
I did.
They're cool.
Yeah, I wanted them to win. As soon as I heard the judo girl saying we've got Genghis Khan's blood coursing through our veins, I was like,
oh,
that's a bit.
Sure about that one.
Still a bit sketchy in terms of like how that happened.
But they said it multiple times. The guy who won championship, the double champ. Whenever they were going through the gates, like, we've stormed castles before, we know exactly how to, like, we've stormed these players. Like, fucking hell, man, these guys are lethal.
No, I'll chill out with that one. You find yourself like rooting for them. It's just like, like, imagine like being Team GB, like, Winston Churchill,
We had the Crusades.
We
basically conquered and
we've denied aid before. We've denied it now. Back Britain first.
We basically colonised half the world.
Yeah. Like, I'd be like a bit like, oh, I don't know if I can root for these guys. Like, they're the underdogs. Oh, God.
We've got like Tommy Robinson as team captain.
Fucking imagine.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
man. Pulling off on a fucking Ford Transit. Back Britain. Right. I was rooting for Team Korea, to be honest. I just love them. And I love Team Korea. I love Korea. No, you're going to get massively, like, Korea-fied when you go out there. You'll realise that Korea is just superior in every single way.
Yeah.
Mate.
Should I pick up Korean instead of Japanese now that they fucked me up with the visa?
Like, it's so easy to get by in Korea. And a white man who can't speak a lick of Korean, fucking hell, I did not realise. It's easier to live in Korea than it is the UK. Straight up. straight up, it is easier. I could be a tourist in Korea for 4 times longer than London, because of price and convenience alone.
How much was it to stay there, by the way? Because that's one thing I need to fucking
Scuttle. It's fun.
Really?
Mate, I had like an apartment out there, and like I did the math, and I was like, oh cool, it's £30 to live in like the centre of Seoul. Like per
Decent.
day. 30.
Decent.
Like, no,
Sick.
it's fuck all. For a meal out at like a restaurant, it's like £7,
Jeez.
mate. Yeah, £7 or
Nice.
£8 though.
7 or 8?
£7 or £8.
5
Or 9, or 10, or 11.
Yeah, well, if you go for K barbecue, because I was like spending money like it's Monopoly. I'm like, oh, what's that? Fucking 200,000. Fuck. And I'm like, fucking hell, I just spent 140 quid. I'm a spastic. You know, like you get back and you check yourself at times, but yeah, KBBQ adds up. Everything else is sound.
Perfect. I'll still be in prep, so there'll be no KBBQ.
Mate, you'll be fucking.
You'll be peaking on KBBK.
You'll be binging. You'll be
Yeah.
binging. Like,
You'd be binging.
you'll be binging. Gyms are fucking insane as well.
Yeah.
Healthy Boy 365 trainer. They've got like Arsenal equipment. It's got like Arsenal, Olympia, like M Torture, like Cybex hack squat. Like, mate, like it is good, and no one there trains that hard, so you can just take all the weights and they don't care.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, you can have tattoos and like whatever. Yeah, mate. Like
Korea's so much more accepting for that kind of thing. That's the one thing that I like. It disgruntles me with Japan is like how still closed off they are to tattoos and just expressing yourself as not just the norm. Korea seems somewhere that you can just be yourself.
Yeah,
Japan's still got the same like honourable this, that, and the other.
yeah, it's bag of bollocks. I think you'll enjoy Korea more. Right, this is an hour and a half. I need to make a meal and fuck off. So,
Yep.
Annie Games viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this episode, please tag us on your stories, share it around with your fucking mates. Next year we are coming for that #1 British bodybuilding podcast. To be honest, this is no slight at anyone. I don't see why we couldn't be. Is what
Maybe if we post more than once every 2 months, then maybe.
and if we don't win, we can just say it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, that's it.
Right, okay. Everybody, we'll see you later. Bye bye.
See ya.